stuff on laptops.
The PBL project was about how we can get better equipment on our playground.
We decided the Omni Spin Spinner would be good because it would be a giant change in the food chain. We got to be creative and working with my teammates and learning about the honeybees.
It's engaging, creative, fun. Project-based learning lets students solve real-life problems while strengthening their 21st century skills. See how 4 teachers in 2 elementary schools use PBL in their classrooms. It's an in-depth look at project-based learning in Round Rock ISD.
Project-based learning is a student-centered pedagogy where the students are actively engaged in problem-solving, critical thinking, and collaborating with each other.
It goes beyond the textbooks, it goes beyond just your scope and sequence, and you're integrating every possible area of your curriculum for students to get an application to solve a real-life problem that you might have.
The Buck Institute for Education is a nonprofit organization that really started out many years ago as an organization for gathering research on best practices in the school setting. And they began to focus on project-based learning as a focus of their research. Through that focus, they determined that not only was it a really great practice, but there weren't a lot of people out there that were doing professional development for teachers.
Our PBL project focused on the importance of honeybees and what would happen if they disappeared.
We wanted to try to figure out a way to enhance our playground. We had some students that were impaired in a variety of ways. We can incorporate a lot of what we want the kids to learn in social studies, math, science, reading, writing. Try to figure out a way to solve the problem of just making our playground a better place for kids to play.
There are 8 essential elements to a PBL project. There's significant content, 21st century skills, the driving question, need to know, in-depth inquiry, voice and choice, revision and reflection, and public audience.
With PBL, we were really working on the 21st century learning skills and really working to accomplish the 4 C's of collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity.
Not only are they things that you need as adults, but you're going to be asked to work with other people and collaborate with others. It can be hard for them to know what to say when someone doesn't agree with them and how to compromise. And so the sooner that we start them, the more of a normality it'll feel to them rather than a frustration in the future.
The driving question is like your focus. It's your topic that guides your project.
The driving question was the how can students and how can we, as students and staff of Patsy Summer Elementary, ultimately design and make improvements to our playground that students of all abilities can enjoy and play.
Our driving question was, how would the disappearance of honeybees affect me and the Round Rock community?
It's talking about what skills do the students already know, and what do they need to learn, what skills do they need to gain, what concepts, what vocabulary do they need to know to help them improve their understanding of our driving questions and the ultimate project and process that they're about to go through. We had an entry event where we actually had the kids come out and we had them all try to play and do a certain amount of tasks with an impairment. How it felt to have an impairment and try to play was a big need to know, because we wanted to have them have empathy, that walk in someone else's shoes opportunity.
That's what it is. I mean, your whole project is inquiry-based because they are discovering everything.
We had the kids go on field trips and analyze 2 different playgrounds, one that we knew was a Play for All Abilities playground and one that we knew was a traditional playground. They were looking very critically at, does this component exist on the playground?
They used text, some nonfiction, bee books, internet websites. The purpose of this was for them to really learn the important jobs of the bees, such as that they make honey and that they pollinate, because without them knowing that they pollinate and what pollination is, they wouldn't be able to answer their driving question.
That's where you are handing over that opportunity to your kids to really have a say in what they want to do and how they want to do it.
They were given freedom on how they wanted to display their information, Play-Doh or paper pipe cleaners or different pictures from magazines or the internet, and they got to choose how they wanted to share that information.
We started off with dream boards where we had the kids just dream up wild things that they would add, and then we asked them to be realistic. They had to work as a group. What was going to be their voice? What was going to be heard by the masses about the best piece of equipment for their station?
So revision and reflection in our PBL occurred throughout the process. After we had different presenters coming into our campus to share about their experiences having an impairment, they would reflect on what they learned, how they felt, and what it would be like if that was actually them.
Once they kind of plan their projects and their final projects, they stop and kind of meet with someone and look at it and see if it's what they really wanted. The second part of revise and reflect is for giving the students time to reflect about the project at the end of the project, and where they can kind of think through the different things that they not only learned about the content, but that they learned about working with others and things like that.
It was important for them to get peer feedback. This is a playground that's going to be meant for all students of all abilities. We wanted every second grader to have the opportunity to have a voice.
We thought it would be really nice to have people in that had a say in how those changes could occur. And then we asked people from our school board and our superintendent.
One of the things that we have done for both of our PBL projects this year is provide a parent presentation at the end of the project, and the students really love that, bringing the parents into the school and letting them share their project.
As the students voted for the piece of equipment they would like added, my class came back afterwards and they were upset because they didn't think that the pieces of equipment that were selected would be for students of all ability. But it was a very touching moment to see the class not really care about themselves and that their project didn't win necessarily, but that they didn't think they would be able to help everyone that they could possibly help.
Some of the main things that our students took away from this project was their fear of honeybees. Instead of seeing it as something that could harm them, it was really able to help change their mind and see honeybees as something that helps them. A lot of them also saw the connection between the honeybees pollinating the clovers, which feed the cows, which would affect dairy production. I think it really struck home to a lot of them that it could affect the amount of ice cream that we have.
Parents are hearing now from students that are engaged in PBL about what do we do to resolve the drought issues in our community. And before you know it, it's a 15-20 minute conversation at the dinner table they've never been able to have before because kids are very, very excited about the work.
I like that we could work together.
The students felt like they were making a difference. They were in charge of trying to make a particular problem better. They were trying to make changes that would affect the world. That gave them this sense of responsibility and ownership that just sitting at a desk and answering questions on a piece of paper from me would never do.